The NBA's next best-kept secret is on the Portland Trail Blazers, and his name is Toumani Camara. Camara has emerged as one of the best defensive players in all of the NBA this year. But when you look at the box score, there is a little bit of a blind spot. His numbers on the defensive end aren't going to wow you. He's 9th in steals. He's not even top 50 in blocks. But what if I told you he ranks 2nd in the entire league in stops? Just to give you an example, Evan Mobley, his February Defensive Player of the Month counterpart, would need 66 more blocks just to get near the number of stops that Toumani Camara has this season. When I watch Camara this season, there's really 4 main things that stick out to me that make him such an elite defensive player. That's his ability to beat people to their spots, the use of his height and wingspan, his off-ball positioning, and his ball skills. I think Toumani's best trait that he has as a defender is his ability to beat people to their spots on the defensive side of the ball. When the offensive player has an objective of getting to somewhere on the court and him knowing where that spot is and beating them there before they get there, it causes all types of havoc on the offensive end. As you see in all these clips, Camara is also guarding a plethora of NBA players, from all-star point guards to 7-foot centers to other teams' best wing offensive players. He's constantly able to move his feet laterally, backpedal, and shuffle forward and beat offensive players to their spots. And it's just something that I believe is so underrated that makes an NBA defender so great at what they do. In this clip right here, Toumani's actually guarding reigning 6th Man of the Year Naz Reid, and they're actually going to set a pin down for Naz. And as you see here, Camara actually gets caught on the screen, and Naz is actually going to curl this screen. And for 99% of NBA players, this should be an easy floater or a mid-range shot wide open. But Camara actually is able to get over the screen, beat Naz to the spot, and recover, poke the ball loose, and the Portland Trail Blazers are going to go on the other end. I think it's just honestly one of his best traits. And at his size, 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan, constantly able to move his feet laterally is just something that I believe makes him such a great defender. Paulo Banchero here makes an in and out move. Toumani bumps him at the point of attack and pokes the ball loose. As you see here as well, James Harden is actually going to attack Toumani's top foot. And if you notice here, Toumani's shading him to his right, which is James's offhand. But James Harden attacks his top foot, which actually causes Toumani to open up at an unnatural angle. But Camara is still able to move his feet, bump James, and grab the ball. I just think it makes him such a great defender for all different types of offensive players. Another thing that makes Camara such a great defender is his wingspan. As you see here, Kevin Porter Jr. has created about 5 feet of separation with a step back, which should be more than enough to get a shot off, but Camara is able to use that long wingspan, tip the ball, and get a contested shot. I think that he couples his height with his wingspan so well and uses it to his advantage all the time. As we see here, Portland Trail Blazers are playing the Lakers, and if you pause it right here, LeBron at 6'8" has the ball and is looking at Dorian Finney-Smith backside for a skip. That should be an open 3, but because Camara uses his height and his length so well, he's able to get a deflection and the ball is going to go the other way. Same thing on this clip here. The ball is going to be entered into LeBron. Camara is then going to force a double team to come from the baseline. Camara all of a sudden gets really tall, uses his wingspan, and Scoot Henderson's able to pick off that ball. I just think Camara has that wingspan that even when he trails curls is able to tip those type of jump shots, especially on Devin Booker. As we see here on De'Aaron Fox as well, De'Aaron's going to drive, Camara's going to sit down, jump up, and deflect the shot. The way he's able to time what the offensive player is going to do and couple that with his wingspan is, I think, what makes him exceptional. A lot of times guys have a lot of length in the NBA, but their timing is off. When you couple the two, it really makes for an elite defender in the NBA. I think where Camara separates himself from everybody else in the NBA on the defensive side of the ball is his off-ball positioning. 7-foot center Nick Richards is going to run the length of the floor. Kevin Durant's going to try to do an entry post pass to him. Camara easily bumps him out of the lane, is able to get a hand on that ball. It's what makes defenses so great, and it's actually what's helped the Portland Trail Blazers get the second best defensive net rating in the NBA since Christmas. Is the fact that Camara is able to play and lurk off ball and be able to either close in on gaps or play backside help. When an alley-oop comes, he's able to tip balls. He always knows where to position himself in order to get stops. Here, Camara is actually going to lurk in the middle of the paint and see this pick and roll. The roll man's going to roll. Camara already is in position to be able to tip that, which isn't even his man, and he's able to get a tip on that ball and force another bad shot. This is actually one of my favorite plays of the season. As you see here, Banchero actually catches the ball, is ready to rip towards the paint, and Toumani's actually going to slide over and help. But look at this. He's put himself in position to guard 3 guys. You have Franz Wagner here in the corner. You have Wendell Carter at the nail. And you also have Banchero, who's going to rip and go. As we see here, he's able to meet him at the rim. He was able to guard 3 guys right there, no matter the choice that Banchero made. I think it makes it just such an important part of the Portland Trail Blazers defense that he's able to always be in those gaps or be in the help side and deflect balls. As we see here, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to drive. As you see, Toumani's actually guarding Lou Dort, and Lou's actually going to curl out to the wing. But when Toumani drops, that actually gives him the ability to play 2 here. So when Shai picks up his dribble, he's either looking for Lou or Isaiah Joe. Because Camara dropped down on that, Camara's able to pick that ball off, but if he would have passed it to Lou, he easily would have been able to close off. He's always in help, is what has led him to become the NBA leader in charges taken this year. Another thing that I think makes the Belgium native one of the best defenders in the NBA is his ability to ball track. A lot of times, good defenders, they're going to get beat. And so then you have to have the ability to find the ball. As you see here, Camara is going to go over a lot of these ball screens because he's guarding the other team's best player. Well, whenever you go over a ball screen, it gives the opportunity for the roll man to keep you on your backside and go to the rim and get an easy bucket. But for Camara, his ball tracking ability when he knows he's beat is second to none. And as you see here, Isaiah Hartenstein's going to keep Camara on his back, roll to the rim. He should have an easy dunk. Camara immediately gets his eyes on the ball and is able to block the shot. I think that's one of the most underrated traits in the NBA as well. Same thing here. Camara's going to open up. He wants to force this player to use the ball screen, so he turns his hips and his shoulders. The guy's going to reject the ball screen. Camara's then going to have to recover. He immediately knows he's beat, so now he's just going to time it, ball track it, and pin the ball against the backboard. This is also another one of my favorite plays that Camara's made this season. He's guarding Tyrese Maxey. They're going to set an Iverson screen. Here, Camara knows he's beat already. Tyrese Maxey, that is a layup or a dunk for 99% of NBA players in the league. But since Camara knows that he's beat, he's immediately going to turn his head. If you look at his head right now, he's not even looking at Maxey anymore because he's been beat. He's looking at the ball. He knows the ball is going to be passed there. He immediately tries to sprint, uses that long wingspan, and is able to steal the ball. I think when you have somebody that's able to have those good ball tracking skills, because a lot of players, they're going to get beat. That's just the nature of the NBA. You're going to get beat in a lot of games because you're guarding such good players and the players are so skilled, and his ball tracking ability when he does get beat is second to none. And that concludes my video, guys, for my first player breakdown of Toumani Camara. He's one of my favorite players this year, and I really enjoy watching him. I encourage you, if y'all have League Pass, because the Portland Trail Blazers are not playing a lot of games on national television right now. So if you guys want to watch him, I encourage y'all to get League Pass and watch him night in, night out. He's one of the more encouraging defenders that we have in the league this year, and I appreciate y'all sticking for my first video. I apologize if I stuttered at all. I've just been trying to go through this, and it's my first time doing it, so I appreciate y'all rocking with me.